Hey guys, welcome back to the second channel for the first time in what feels like, and to be fair, probably is, an age. I appreciate your patience in waiting for the next content here on the channel. Obviously, as you are fully aware, or if you weren't, I'll make you aware, I was away for about 11 to 12 days or so out of the country, have come back and was just finishing up my final FIFA 22 content on stream to ensure that I finished the current save I was doing before the new FIFA 23 game come out. As such, secondary content like FM, F1 22 and F1 Manager took a back seat, and I've now finished that FIFA 22 save, and F1 content is returning and will continue to stay here too. F1 22 and F1 Manager 2022 will continue to come to you over the course of the next few weeks. So hopefully you guys are enjoying. To refresh your memory, last time out we were in Great Britain. We finished 11th. We've had some development with the car of late. We got that win in Canada somehow. We've had some development of the car of late, and we're currently the 6th fastest car on track, there or thereabouts, but you can see how close it is in the performance index between a number of us. Ourselves, McLaren, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, Alpha Tauri and Haas. 6 teams, all basically the same as one another. That's what you call a midfield battle. So we're heading to the race weekend in Austria, hoping to have a strong weekend and hopefully, fingers crossed, score some points. It is a sprint weekend as well, so we'll have one practice session followed by a sprint Grand Prix, or sprint race, followed by a second practice session. No, sorry, one practice followed by qualifying, followed by a second practice qualified, followed by a sprint race, followed by a full race. You can see that there is some rain in P2 and some rain in the race as well. In fact, the race will start fully wet and dry up towards the end. So differing track conditions throughout the course of the weekend, but we'll head into the first practice session and try and get some decent resource points on board. We've still got some things in development, and hopefully we'll be able to add to that with some more resource points in the not too distant future. We don't need to change anything parts wise, although the gearbox has probably only got one more race weekend in it. So we might do this. Probably can't do the sprint Grand Prix in that and then change because I still get the grid penalty. Regardless, we'll head to practice, try and get as many resource points as we can, try and gauge how good we are, and then set our expectations accordingly. If you're delighted to see the return of F1, as I am, then please do drop the video a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you won't miss out on any more of this game or F1 Manager 22, or of course Football Manager 2023 when that comes out at the beginning of November. Do join me on stream, link in the description down below as well if you want to come across and see these recorded live. But for now, I'm going to jump straight to practice and try and set up my car as best we can. Yeah, preset 4 is faster. Significantly so. Preset 4 is faster than the custom setup we have, which is fine. We know that we can get a decent amount of pace out of the car. I feel relatively stable and relatively comfortable with the drive of the car. I definitely feel better in the corners with a custom setup because it's got more downforce, but I am absolutely per lap on outright speed faster with the preset. Slower in the corners, but much quicker in the straights, and around Austria especially, where there are so few corners and so much straight, that it just makes pure sense to be in that mode, really. So we shall head into the next session, which is qualifying, and hopefully get ourselves through to Q3. I hope. I'd like to get into Q3. I mean, it's better, but it's not much better. 105.4 puts me P15 at the minute, but that's going to be us out in Q1, I'm pretty sure. Scrappy laps, underfloor body damage as well. I'm much faster than my teammate, but the midfield is so tight. Oh, I say much faster than my teammate. Nico somehow pulled out 1 minute 5 flat. I'm P18. Both Alphas behind us and a Haas. And again, it's not good enough. Just not fast enough. Scrappy laps. Well, we'll hope that a strong sprint race will give us the opportunity to do well enough in the main feature race. Although with a wet start, it's going to be difficult. Really difficult. I don't know how confident I am now of actually being able to get points after a scruffy practice. Sorry, a scruffy qualifying. I'm kind of frustrated there, to be honest. We can easily get all the extra resource points we need here now, though. 50% success only of that. It's yes or no. It's a yes, thankfully. Let's go back. Just make sure I get the... Oh, I've got them anyway. Okay, I've got the resource points. But to guarantee I got the resource points from every other practice session, and then we can go and make sure we get the boosts from the other two. Provided we don't get any failures here, we should be able to get this one done. Hey, right, I've got one attempt at this. And it passed. Thank God for that. With 5 seconds to go, we've maximised our resource point haul and development percentage boosts. Thank God for that. Just. I got 1,000 XP. Nico got 450. We can significantly improve the car with that. Thank you very much. Sprint race on the way. Fully dry sprint race. Probably fully all just on a medium tyre as well. No stop sprint race. We'll see what we can do. We nailed the grid spot. Can we nail the start? I hope so. On the inside, could gain a position. Oh, it's the hell, it's forever. Held what felt like an age there. Trying to... Oh my God, someone's just clouted straight into the back of me. I'm going to nip through that gap. Nicholas Latifi out of the session. Oh, safety car's out already. Oh my God, what even happened there? Nicholas Latifi, I think it was, just came storming into the back of me and has not taken himself out of the Grand Prix immediately. Good start by Latifi. He's done wonders there. Well done, pal. I wasn't exactly travelling any slower than the rest of the traffic around me. He's just decided to make a late move and just completely ballsed it. He's right behind me there. And then he's decided, oh, I'm going to go to the other side. And he's done it too late. And crunch. And I think the safety car comes out about here, which is why everyone's going slow. And I was like, I thought to myself, oh, just nip through that gap then. But then actually, technically, they were ahead of me as the safety car came out. Maybe we'll see the flags change to yellow. You can see on the left-hand side, look, the steward has a green flag and then now a yellow flag. Oh, it's a VSC, not a full safety car. It's only a VSC. But Latifi is out. Surely we can make a couple of positions up here into the braking zone. Although it looks like everybody else had the same idea. I'm going to try. Magnussen went over the centre of reservation. Over. Collision with Porsche. I don't think I made actual contact with him there, did I? I actually ended up losing a position there. I'm going to try and go at the inside of Zhou Guan Yu, who saw me coming, moved out of the way, and we have managed to get the position. I tried to follow K-Mag over the curb there, and it just, quite frankly, didn't work. I'm expecting Stroll to pit here with wing damage, and indeed he is doing so. Having to tiptoe round him though. Nico Hulkenberg's in the pits as well.
Okay, Nico's into the pits. Nico in the pits.
So we'll make a couple of positions. DRS is now enabled.
We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS.
Mick and Teo getting all out of shape, and then I decided to rock up and drive into the back of Mick. Can you tell I haven't played F1 for it? Tell I haven't played an F1 game for like 3 or 4 weeks. I am Rusty Ringo, aren't I? We've got the run on Teo here as well. He might go defensive into turn 3. But we'll sneak up the inside. That'll be P16 for us, thank you. Off we go. Let's try and catch K-Mag. Norris in the pits now as well. That's a McLaren dropping behind us. Right, if I can use my battery to stick with this group in front, then we might get DRS for the next straight. I'm not quite going to be within range, but they're all going to... Oh my god, they're all just getting all over each other. There's bodywork flying everywhere. I am within DRS range. This is nuts. This whole gaggle is just bouncing off one another. K-Mag's getting aggressive on Yuki. Yellow flag somewhere. That's the Haas behind us of Zhou Guanyu. What's happened to Zhou? Here he is. What happened to Zhou Guanyu? Coming down into turn 4. Does he just lock up? Does he spin? He's just spun it on a curb. Round he goes. And then Mick's right behind. Oh no, it was actually Mick that spun, wasn't it? It's Mick that spins there. And Zhou Guanyu's just stuck behind him. K-Mag is past Yuki. Ricardo's falling back in that Red Bull down to P11. I don't know whether he's got damage. Yeah, he has. Ricardo's pitting. And everybody's crashing and hitting everyone else because as we Bottas out of the session, safety car rail. Oh my lord. The typical Austria, they pit and other cars drive into them thing. Wham. Now because that's just a gameplay bug, I will try and flash this back and hope that it doesn't happen. But it may still happen. I'm trying to avoid it happening. We'll see if that works. No, it doesn't. Well, he's not out the race at least. Bottas just arrived right on the racing line there. No idea what that was all about. Why did Valtteri Bottas went into the pits and then just appeared... Went into the pits and then appeared on track again. What? I think he's retiring. But now so is an Aston Martin as well. This is a cluster something of a Grand Prix. Yuki Tsunoda now in front of me. We're P11. Safety car deployed. Safety car deployed. Jesus wept. So we're P12 on lap 5. And now there's the safety car. Bottas is out. He has retired. What a welcome back to the Formula 1 game this has been so far. And this is just the sprint race. I'm tempted to put a set of soft tyres on. I'm going to put a set of softs on. Why not? Why not? The softs should last. We might struggle with tyre wear at the end of the Grand Prix. So, a quick recap of where we are right now. Lewis still P1. Sainz, Russell, Alonso, Leclerc, Verstappen. Gasly's gone from 13th to 7th. Albon 11th to 8th. Ocon has stayed 9th somehow. K-Mag's made 7 places. Yuki's gone down 1. Teo's made 7 places. Zhou Guanyu's made 8 places. Mix up a couple. Lando's down from 6th to 15th. I'm now up 2, but I was up 6. But now I've got a soft tyre on that hopefully will take me to the end of the Grand Prix. And out of the Grand Prix, retired are Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel and Nicholas Latifi. I'm itching to get going. Absolutely itching. And we are green flag racing once again. Teammate right behind me. They're all bulk up through turn 1 probably. Oh no, apparently they're not going to bulk up through turn 1. Never mind. Right, soft tyres, do your work. Around the outside of Lando Norris. Lovely. Soft tyres doing their work. Zhou Guanyu in the Haas is going to go defensive. I'm going to go around the outside of him if I can. Table says force Mick wide. This is going to be chaos, isn't it? And I've got a very fast McLaren right behind me. Either way, we're making positions on where we qualified. They're going to get out of shape into turn 1. Ready to make evasive manoeuvres. The speed difference between ourselves and Zhou Guanyu is quite high. Around the outside of Zhou, the same way we were around the outside of Lando. P14 and counting. DRS enabled this lap or next lap? This lap. DRS enabled. These guys are going to get out of shape. I'm going to try and duck underneath them both. Didn't quite work, but we will have the inside line on Mick, although he nearly tried to squeeze me into the grass. I might try and get Teo as well here. I'm going for it up the inside of Teo. That's P12. That's back where we were pre-pit stop.
2 cars in one go. Great job. Really impressive.
Thank you, Mark. Right, 4.2 seconds to Yuki Tsunoda. Time to go and get ourselves an Alpha Tauri. Quite happy for Lando to overtake me because I'm not going to be able to defend it for 10 laps. But what I want to do is this.
Keep on him. He might make a mistake.
Stick in his DRS and follow him up to Magnussen and Yuki. Alonso's in the pits and pit for softs. That's going to be another position for us. I'm not sure why. Well, he must have just picked up damage battling with someone, but Alonso stopped. We're now P12. Let's have a look. Presumably, that'll be Alonso pitting for front wing damage. Indeed, it is. Yeah, so we are using fuel quite significantly. Alonso now past Teo Pourchaire. We are definitely going to need to significantly fuel save in the race or overfuel in the race. Took a bit of underfloor damage there from that last turn, but it's not going to affect us on this final lap. So P18 start to a P12 finish. Thanks to using a little bit of tactics with a pit stop for a soft tyre and making the most of some misfortune of other drivers as well. As George Russell wins the sprint race in Austria. He takes points. There's only points from 1st to 8th in a sprint race. Whereas, obviously, in the full Grand Prix, there's points from 1st to 10th. Right, we'll take a P12 in the sprint. That'll do very nicely. And we'll see what we can do in the full Grand Prix. So a wet start, presumably Inters. I would imagine that even though it says it's not going to dry up for 2/3 of the race, I would imagine that it is going to dry up probably about lap 20 to 30 of the 70 odd that we'll do here in Austria. So I expect to be on dry tyres relatively quickly. The AI tend to be faster than the user in the wet on the same difficulty level, which is frustrating, but there should be enough dry running in this Grand Prix that it won't affect us too much, so we don't need to worry about changing the difficulty at all to adjust for that. So this is how the sprint race finished, evidently, but George Russell starts in 1st and Lewis 2nd. We'll see if there are any post-sprint grid penalties. I wouldn't imagine there are. And there's Leclerc and Verstappen. Ferrari obviously in their changed livery. Albon and Gasly. Ocon and Norris P8, or Tsunoda, Magnussen 10, and then I'll be 11. Wood and Zhou, so someone's taken a penalty. Alonso, Sainz has taken said penalty. Down to 14th, Pourchaire and Stroll. Mick and then Nico in P80, which is where I started the sprint. Ricciardo and Bottas, obviously both retired, and Vettel and Latifi, both retired as well. Is it Inters or full wets at the start? It looks like Inters underneath those tyre blankets. 6.5 laps worth of extra fuel it recommends. 6.5 laps. Because we're in the wet, I'll take some out, but we are going to need to fuel save a little bit. I'll give myself 3.5 laps worth of extra fuel. And we will put a little bit extra front grip in for the wet. But we will take that out again when we get to dry running. So remember, we were on 8 front wing. So starting on the Inter, expecting to go to the dry tyres about lap 20 to 30. Medium, soft to the end, or medium, soft when it dries out. Maybe medium hard, but I doubt it. Temperatures are already fine. It might dry up even quicker than that. We'll wait and see. I'm not expecting it to dry up until lap 20 to 30, but it might dry up slightly earlier. Starting just outside the points in P11. But we are quicker than the Williams. Purple, please. There we go.
Okay, incredible parking there. Nice
Thanks,
run.
mate.
It's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts.
Can confirm I won't get a good launch. I never do. But we're all lined up. And we are ready to go. As we say thank you to Baz for subscribing for the first time with a tier 1 sub. Thank you, my friend. Oh, actually, that is not a bad start at all. We're going to get K-Mag right off the bat. Trying to avoid any damage around turn 1. And we have done that. And that is P10 and into the points at the beginning. I'm trying not to squeeze K-Mag. Now I'm ahead of him, I can pull across. Lando and the car in front of him, Tsunoda getting side by side. And it's slowed Lando up. And we have been able to take the McLaren, he says, as now Lando fights back. Trying with a little bit of battery. Give him a bit of a squeeze, but not too much of a squeeze. Around the outside at turn 4 is ambitious, because I can just run him wide like that. Now K-Mag is in front of Lando as well, actually. Now I need it to dry up as soon as possible. Lando's actually going for a run up the inside there. Hello, Lando. How are you, my friend? Alonso behind, pitting. As is Sainz as well. So not only did Sainz take a penalty, he also had to pit for damage on lap 1. So we're currently P10 and in the points after 1 lap. And hopefully we won't finish any lower than 10th, and we should be able to get some points today. Time will tell. Holding our own in the rain so far, though. Although perhaps having to rely on my battery more so than I might like. We are seemingly competitive in this. It might just be because I'm better at this track in the wet. And, as I mentioned when we first saw that it was going to be wet, because there are less corners and less traction zones, I think there's less opportunity for the AI to be faster. And I can just use my battery quite a lot. I think that's the reason. The main issue with the AI speed in the wet is their traction. They have a lot less wheel spin than you do as a user. And because there's less opportunity for that to be a factor at this track, I think that's why we're more competitive. I think if we were at a different track, I probably wouldn't be managing my pace quite so well. I did expect to be dry running between laps 20 and 30, and it does look like that's probably going to be the case. And because both AlphaTauris are in front of us, they will either double stack, meaning we'll take one of them, or one driver will have to do a lap longer on the wrong tyre, and we'll gain time that way instead. I'm going to set mediums next by default, and maybe it will be medium, medium, soft to the end. We should have enough sets of mediums to be able to do that. They might even tell me to go soft, soft, soft. I'm thinking it's going to be another 2 stops though. Maybe we could go medium soft, but I wouldn't have thought so. It's drying, but I'm surprised it's taking so long to switch to dry tyres, to be honest. We're starting to take dry lines now over curves and through corners.
Check your MFD for
There
a
we
new
go.
strategy option.
Soft medium. No. It wants me to go soft medium. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go medium soft. Too busy concentrating on my MFD.
Strategy available on the MFD.
I'm going to pit this lap, but my next tyres are set to medium. So I am going to pit. Those in front are pitting too. And AlphaTauri are double stacking. AlphaTauri are pitting 2 drivers at once. So we should hopefully, provided it's a good stop, we should hopefully make some time here. Going on to the medium tyre.
Okay, Nico's into the pits. Nico in the
And
pits.
we are ahead of an AlphaTauri.
Okay, stay clear
We're
of
ahead
the
of
white line
Gasly.
on the exit.
Now, they've all gone to
Penalty for
softs.
dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
So they've gone to softs. They're going to be... They're going to be going on to mediums later. So they'll be faster than me at the minute. But we aim to be faster than them at the end. So currently P10. Although, as you can see, K-Mag is still on the inters in front. So that'll move us to P9. Still no DRS activated from the FIA, as far as I'm aware. K-Mag in the pits. And we're going to be pitting on lap 57-ish. So we're on these mediums for quite a while. Lando's putting the fastest lap, 1:11.4. We do a 1:11.3. Fastest lap of the race from the cheese. Lewis does a 1:10 flat. Yeah, okay. The track is up to speed. Still no DRS though, is there? I don't think. I don't know if DRS has been enabled yet. I don't recall seeing it enabled. Did you guys see it enabled? 1:10. I keep saying 1:10. 1:10 flat. And that was half a second faster. See, I don't think DRS is enabled. I'm going to have a look at the cars in front just to see if Lando's got DRS or not. He doesn't. DRS is still not enabled, even though we're dry running. We're all on dry tyres. There is still the occasional spot of rain, but no DRS yet. Which is helping me, TBH. A lot, actually. There you go. DRS enabled.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now
On lap
on
30. So we've done a decent amount of laps on this set of medium tyres without having to worry about DRS at all from other drivers behind. And also, it means that those in front aren't DRS training away from me. Not that really, in front of us, there are any gaps that would indicate DRS trains. It's just kind of it's like two drivers together, isn't it? And that saved me time with them all on their soft tyres, not able to maximise their pace. But they've done, say, a third of their soft tyre stint with no DRS. And Tsunoda and Norris are now going to start battling in front. And until Norris gets past, they're just going to fall backwards into us because they're just going to be battling with one another. Russell and Lewis Hamilton are trading fastest laps left, right and centre, as they have been throughout the entirety of the Grand Prix so far. I'm going to try not to lose too much time here. Gasly is welcome to overtake me because he's got to pit onto mediums and I'm going to be pitting onto softs, and overall I think we might well end up in front of Pierre, but I'm trying to lose as little time as possible basically. Tsunoda and Norris did have a coming together at turn 1, but Lando's passed Yuki and the gap is now 3 seconds. Using my battery well here, and their soft tyres will start to go off within the next 7 or 8 laps, and our mediums will come into their own again. Daniel Ricciardo doesn't want to wait 2, 3, 4, so we're actually not that far off the fastest pace in the Grand Prix, he says, as then Lewis goes and puts in a 1:07.8. Gasly's pitting. I think, as is Bottas, the soft-tyred runners are pitting for their mediums, unless they're maybe going to go soft, medium. But the soft-tyred runners are starting to have their tyres wear on them, and the advantage is coming back to us. We're going to go to lap 55 or so. George Russell is out of the session. George retires from P2. Ah, it's a pit lane thing. It's a pit lane thing. No, it's not. His engine's gone. It's not a pit lane thing. I was getting prepared to flashback there, but no. No flashback. George Russell. Engine blowout, out of the race. That's another position for us. We'll be up to P8. And they're all in the pits in front of us. Ocon Norris and Yuki all in the pits. They've gone to their mediums to go to the end of the Grand Prix. We now find ourselves P5. There you go, Alexander Albon in the pits. We'll be up to P4, albeit briefly because Esteban Ocon is closing me down at quite the rate of knots. He's on brand new mediums. I'm on 20% worn mediums. But later in the Grand Prix, we're going to be on brand new softs, and he'll be on worn mediums. Although, to be honest, our fight isn't with Esteban Ocon, it's with those behind Ocon, isn't it? It's with Gasly and Tsunoda and Lando Norris. Lando's going to be too quick. I think we're looking at maybe a P7 or 8, though, maybe, perhaps, if we're lucky. Esteban's going to get me into turn 1. I'm going to hang on around the outside, and I got DRS because he overtook me just before the line. Thanks, Esteban. Bye. Our tyres are 18 laps old. Yuki's gone soft, as has Pierre Gasly. Okay. So there are definitely other strategies at play here, other than just the soft medium or the medium soft. So the AlphaTauris might well be going soft, which would mean we might not be able to make as much headway as we hoped on our final set of soft tyres, unless they're going soft, medium, which I doubt. They must just be going soft. But that does mean they'll have an extra pit stop than us, because we've only got 1 stop left, and they will have 1 stop left. So I'm unsure at the minute where we'll finish, but in the points is almost a dead cert.
Place back.
I can win that place back. Don't squeeze me all the way, Esteban. Bloody hell. I need to lose as little time as possible, though. That's the problem. And we've held the position, have we, maybe? I'm going to have the inside line for the next turn. No, he's just turned across me. Okay. I mean, I'm still there. He is a full car width, not full car length, but he is ahead of me here. But there is a gap there to go to, and he has just still turned across. I probably should give the position up. But at the same time, I feel like I'm still within my rights to fight for that. If you push me for an answer now, I'd say we'd probably finish P7 behind Albon, who's currently behind us, and behind Norris, who's currently behind us. Because the two AlphaTauris need to make another stop. That basically means that we are effectively a net 10 seconds ahead of them. We are as we are. Whereas with Albon, who's 6 seconds behind, and Norris, who's actually still stuck behind Gasly, he's just not been able to get past Pierre at all in this Grand Prix. I guess it's because Pierre's been on soft tyres and may even have taken him back. Or is able to fight the fight because he's on softs to Lando's mediums. But Gasly in the AlphaTauri and Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri both have 1 more stop to make. Whereas Albon behind us and Norris behind us don't. So at present, I'd say it's P7 for us in this Grand Prix, which would still be our 2nd best result of the season and our joint 2nd best result of our entire career. Now Gasly has stopped. What's Gasly gone to? Gasly, so they're running soft, medium. AlphaTauri are seemingly needlessly throwing in an extra stop. Unless that set of medium tyres that they're going to are so worn that they wouldn't have made it all the way to the end. But I think they've just shot themselves in the foot there, AlphaTauri. I think P7 is definitely on for us now. It's actually not Lando. It's not Lando in the McLaren that's there. It's Valtteri Bottas. Lando Norris has gone soft, medium, hard. Has Lando Norris had a coming together with someone and had to pit for a front wing? I think he might well have done. Lando Norris pit lap 43 for front wing damage. So it's Valtteri Bottas that's there in P8, not Lando. And I don't know whether I fancy myself on pace against Bottas. Against Lando, definitely not. But Valtteri, maybe? And McLaren is quick, though. We might have the opportunity for a P6, maybe. But still aiming for a P7 at present.
Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs.
I think I'm going to pit this lap.
Okay, be aware the car behind is catching you by 0.5 a lap. 0.5.
I'm going to box this lap for my softs. Try and stay out of DRS range of Alex Albon so that he doesn't gain any advantage off the back of me, which we have been able to do. And I'm going to stop this lap, and then it's going to be Operation try and catch Valtteri Bottas, which is highly unlikely.
Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be
Your
careful.
underbody damage. I don't even know when that happened. So Albon 6th, Bottas 7th. I'm not sure who's in 8th and 9th. Alonso's in 8th. That's frustrating. Alonso's going to be really difficult to catch. I didn't realise Alonso was there. And Ricciardo in 9th. Okay, it's not quite going to be as straightforward as I hoped it would be
Perfect
at the end.
job.
Great stop though, 2.5 seconds.
Delighted with that. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Right, so on these softs, we are now trying to catch Ricciardo, who's 4 seconds, and Alonso, who's 11. We might be about to set the fastest lap of the race. We have a 106.1. We may, for the first time in our career, be able to steal
Okay, the car behind is
a
dropping
fastest
back.
lap
See the
point,
gap starting to form.
perhaps, provided nobody else pits at any point for a brand new set of tyres. I do have another set of brand new softs I could go to. Not that I want to at this stage. Now, if Nico could do me a favour and be a bit of a pain in the backside to lap and slow Daniel up a bit, that would be lovely. Slightly unsportsmanlike, but it would be lovely. We are within a second of Daniel now. We are within DRS range of the Red Bull. Nico's let Daniel pass. Oh, it'd be bitter irony if Nico actually slows me up, but no, he's not going to. Thank you, Nico. DRS on Daniel. Bring me
Catching the
P8.
car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
Bottas has been taken by Alonso. So it's Alpine 5 and 6 right now. Daniel getting a little out of shape there. I think it's Alpine 5 and 6. It's Alpine 4 and 6. Alexander Albon, of course, still there in P5. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Welcome everyone that's come across from Fox's stream. You join us in the last 6 laps of this Grand Prix as we're trying to take Daniel Ricciardo, who, yes, is back in a Red Bull in this save now. And we might be able to pull it off here. He's going to go defensive again, is he? Not. Oh, he is. He moved late there, Daniel Ricciardo, and he's parked it on the apex. He's gone very slow. Surely it's only a matter of time before we get past him. Sergio Perez retired at the end of Season 1. You're wondering why Ricciardo is back in the Red Bull. Zhou Guanyu is out of the Grand Prix. But that is not going to affect our Grand Prix. He's behind us. He's actually retired at the end of Turn 1. At the end of this start-finish straight is where he's pulled over to the side. You imagine it's quite simply an engine blowout of some description. Not allowed to overtake under yellow flag conditions, so I can't overtake him until it's green again, which it now is. And we've definitely got a run on him this time. He's got the inside line though.
6.9 seconds.
Oh, son of a bitch. Locked up. I was trying to do a switchback on him. And if you watch him, he locks up here. Locks his front tyre up. And just slides straight on. And I end up going into him. That might make a good thumbnail though, actually. Come on, Daniel. I want that P8, mate. I'm going to go aggressive this time. Got the inside line into 4. That should be job done. It took a while. It took a fair few laps to battle with Daniel Ricciardo, but I think that should be, I hope, job done. He says as Daniel comes back at him. Hello, sir. Although he's trying to do it where I now will have DRS. So he tried to overtake me into turn 1 and was ahead through the DRS detection point. Okay, maybe it's not job done against Daniel yet. Time to maybe utilise my battery to my advantage again. This time to defend rather than attack. I'll extend the gap past a second if I can to Daniel. The DRS detection point, which I won't quite do.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
You're right, Lewis might get the fastest lap now, mightn't he? But he's gone to softs. Oh, son of a bitch. Lewis is going to steal my fastest lap, isn't he, at the end of the race? We had the opportunity to get the fastest lap in the Grand Prix for the first time in our career. 1.5 seasons in. 35 Grand Prix into our career. And Lewis is going to steal my fastest lap. Unbelievable. No DRS on the back of Sebastian Vettel yet. He'll let me through here. We've only got 2 laps to go, but I imagine Lewis will set a fastest lap momentarily. Excuse me, Sebastian. Thank you. He's let Daniel through as well. Yellow flags. Oh, it's just because Seb was moving slowly. That's all. Lewis didn't set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. But that might be because that was the lap that he came out of the pits. We've got 1 lap to go. It's last lap. Daniel Ricciardo still right behind me.
Okay, this is your final lap. Final lap of the race.
We currently have the fastest lap. But Lewis is on his fastest lap. And he just pit to put fresh softs on because of damage. Max Verstappen has won the Grand Prix. But our P8 is not assured yet. And Daniel's going for it on the last lap. This is going to be a straight shootout between myself and Daniel Ricciardo. But I think, given we've got the battery there to defend, we should. Oh, he's going for it. He's still going for it, Daniel. Try and hold it around the outside and then burn the battery. We will keep hold of P8 until the end. Will Lewis take my fastest lap on the last lap? No. So Lewis Hamilton doesn't take my fastest lap. We will finish P8. And for the very first time in our career, in our 34th or 35th Grand Prix, we will take a fastest lap point. Checkered flag. GG boys, P8. Up there with one of our best finishes of our career to this point. And we did it with strategy. But that battle with Daniel Ricciardo at the end was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. When we were only a couple of seconds behind with 10 laps to go, I thought it'd be pretty straightforward. He clung on in my DRS as my soft tyres went off. And he was able to hang on and give me a real banging last lap for a battle. That was pretty intense there, to be fair. But GG boys. We managed to get the 4 points in the Grand Prix and 1 for the fastest lap. In the driver's standings, Charles Leclerc is up there, leading the championship by 56 points from Sainz, who's a further 2 ahead of Max. The Mercedes have the best car at the minute. Those points haven't moved me up at all. I'm still 11th. And we're still 6th in the Constructors. ahead of AlphaTauri and Aston Martin. But the Mercedes is the fastest car. They were miles ahead in quali. And to be fair, running things in the race as well until George retired and Lewis picked up damage. So Mercedes have the fastest car but are killing themselves with strategy or just getting unlucky. Where have we seen that before with Ferrari in real life? The performance index has actually seen us drop down a bit now as well, although we should hopefully be getting the major weight reduction update very, very shortly indeed. And we have 400 resource points to improve. Now, I'm going to go to the driver market. 6 million is all it will cost for Nico Hülkenberg to renew. His rating is 84, but Jacques Villeneuve is also 6 million and he's at 92. However, we do like to be a little bit more realistic, don't we? So, Jacques Villeneuve is definitely too old to drive a real-life Grand Prix car these days. But Jenson Button, just as we chose Nico Hülkenberg over the other potential options, because Nico could definitely still be a real-life driver in F1, I think Jenson Button is absolutely an option as well. Financially, we can't really afford anyone other than Nicholas Latifi, Yuki Tsunoda, or one of the icons. So rather than renew Nico Hülkenberg, we will, on paper, upgrade to Jenson Button. I'll try and negotiate with Button. We will approach him and see if he'll sign for us. Now, what is his requirements? He wants us to have a Spec 2 chassis, sorry, Spec 1 chassis department. We have Spec 2. So we'll go with a medium risk 6 mil. Now, actually, you know what? I'll go for a high risk. He might sign that, considering we have better things. And he has indeed. So Jenson Button is our new second driver. We have a new teammate. A new teammate. That's done and dusted. Right, we'll get resource points from that. We'll up the power thing there. And there are 4 days left. So we can go sponsorship and driver promotion filming. And as we advance towards the French Grand Prix, which is off the calendar for real life next year, the car should be slightly better because it passed its... yes, the fuel flow regulator is going to pass as well. So we are still the 6th fastest team, but there has been a change in how things are lined up. AlphaTauri have dropped off, McLaren have dropped off, and we are now ahead of the Woking based team, but Alfa Romeo remain in front of us. We've got 678 resource points, which isn't enough to do anything at this stage, but only 7 days away from drag reduction. DRS I'm not that bothered about. It will be front and rear downforce we'll be upgrading next, I would have thought. And we can start thinking about putting money into our facilities again. Weight reduction is still going to be important too. So we'll have a decision to make next time out before the... in between practice and the race at the French Grand Prix as to where we upgrade the car next. Feel free to let me know in the comments where you think I should upgrade the car next. Whether we should go for a chassis upgrade with the weight reduction, or whether we should go for an aero upgrade with front or rear downforce. One of the two. I'll wait for your feedback before we see anything else. And we've got 5.79 million, which isn't enough, I don't think, to upgrade anywhere at present. Or we might be able to do quality control for the aero department. What have we got in progress at the minute? We do have an aero department part in progress. Can I do anything with my perks? I'm already at 3 for most, and driver acclaim isn't really important, so that's not a problem then. So we need to change that gearbox out, actually, don't we? Definitely. So let's whack that one in for the French Grand Prix. Do I spend some money? I could do build time, actually, here. Let's do build time for the chassis department. So we spend some money there. And we'll have to bear in mind what we save for renewing contracts at the end of the season. But we're halfway through and going well, I think. Hopefully you guys are pleased to see the F1 content back. Do make sure you drop this YouTube video a like if you've enjoyed, of course, and subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any more. We'll be streaming more of this and F1 Manager on Thursday, so do come and join me live. It'll be a full day stream of F1 content. So make sure you're here for it. That'll be all for now. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed and you're glad to see it back, because I'm glad to be back with it too. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta.